This useless guy here, he's just a high school grad.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
At the company social, I was being belittled in front of 200 people by my sales manager, Mike, and his subordinate, Terry, which made me feel nervous and start sweating profusely. "What are you talking about? Please stop."
What's wrong? You seem eager to leave? It's understandable, showing your disgrace in front of all these people, right?
If you don't like it, you can leave. And while you're at it, feel free to quit the company too.
Mike and Terry moved the microphone away from their mouths and whispered to me in a low voice. At that moment, I finally lost my temper and made a decision. If I'm such a bother, I immediately stepped off the stage and headed straight for the exit of the venue. Later, they regretted making me angry. My name is John Brown, a 55-year-old man. I currently work as a sales manager at Johnson Construction, Inc., a small construction company. My father worked in the construction industry, so from a young age, I was interested in buildings and construction sites, and often went to see the local construction sites. I had also visited my father's workplace, and seeing my father and the craftsmen working there further fascinated me with construction. When I was in high school, my desire to work at a construction company grew stronger, and I decided not to go to college. Naturally, my parents opposed it, but recognizing my determination, they eventually supported me. Then my father introduced me to a construction company. That company is the one I still work for today, Johnson Construction, Inc. At that time, Bill Johnson, who was already the young president, and my father had known each other for a long time. Hearing about the shortage of workers from Bill's father, my dad considered it and suggested the company to me. Having no particular company I wanted to work for, I quickly agreed, and after graduating high school, I started working as a part-time worker at Johnson Construction. Although I achieved my dream job, the harsh physical labor exhausted me, and I would fall asleep as soon as I got home every day. There was a lot to learn, and it was quite tough. But more than that, the work was enjoyable, and every day was fulfilling. A few years passed, and I got used to the job. After being promoted to a full-time employee, I obtained several qualifications, including a first-class architect license. I even got promoted to site supervisor, living fulfilling days full of motivation. When I turned 30, the president suddenly scouted me, asking, "Would you like to work at the headquarters?" Even though I liked working on site, I accepted the scout as a new challenge and moved to the sales department at the headquarters. The sales job was completely different from on-site work. At first, it was tough, but gradually, I started enjoying talking to clients and customers and actively engaged in the work. It seemed that my on-site experience and knowledge benefited the sales job, allowing me to acquire many clients. And within about 3 years, I achieved the top sales performance in the department. I continued to maintain the top performance, earning high evaluations from the president, leading to promotions and salary increases. Now, as a manager, I support my employees while fulfilling my duties. Although the responsibilities have increased and I'm still single because I'm so absorbed in my work, I find it rewarding and enjoy it so much that I don't mind. One day, while working as usual, the sales manager, Mike, and Terry, who joined the company just last year, approached me.
Hey, high school grad, you were the top in sales again, huh? You're really getting ahead of yourself. But then again, you love your work, so I guess it can't be helped.
But honestly, watching you hog the top spot every time is annoying. What's your deal? Sometimes you should let your boss or subordinates take the lead.
Excuse me? I sighed at their sarcastic remarks. The truth is, this wasn't the first time Mike and Terry had been mean to me. At first, it was just a few times a month, but recently they had been picking on me almost every day. Apparently, they didn't like me being the top performer in sales every time.
Hey, what's with that sigh? Got something to say?
Is it happening again? Please stop. I can't concentrate on my work.
What's that? How dare you talk to your manager like that? Don't get cocky.
Terry, baring his fangs at me for talking back to Mike. When Terry first joined the company, he seemed very serious and admired me as his mentor. But now, he's always by Mike's side, backing him up. I heard from other employees that Terry is genuinely jealous of me. Maybe that's why he's siding with Mike. He's good at navigating the social landscape, but I didn't expect him to help harass others. So it was a bit of a shock. Don't mess with other people's work every day like that.
Oh, sorry about that. Being a high school grad, you have to work several times harder than others, huh?
I've told you before, education doesn't matter, right? Hearing that, Mike snorted. He had been in this department since before I transferred, but apparently, he didn't like the fact that I was scouted by the president. However, one day, as soon as he found out I was a high school graduate, he occasionally started using it as a reason to harass me. When Terry joined last year, it seems he felt he had an ally and gradually intensified his attacks. As a result, now they even harass other competent subordinates along with Terry. According to what I've heard from other employees, there have been times when he shouted at people so loudly that he drove them to quit, or he would blame his mistakes on his subordinates. Everyone tried to report him to the president at least once, but it seems they were threatened behind the scenes, so no one helped me even when they saw me being victimized. Nevertheless, I didn't let their bullying get to me and tried to ignore them. Sai, are you satisfied now? Why don't you get back to your own work?
What did you say? Who do you think you're talking to? I'm your manager. That means I'm your boss. Don't you dare order me around.
I agree. And it's not okay to sigh so openly. Nowadays, even a big sigh can be considered harassment.
Ignoring their persistent behavior, I continued with my work.
Well, that's why high school grads are the worst. You'll regret treating me like this.
With that, Mike took Terry and left the department for a break. Finally free, I felt a sense of relief and focused on my work. A few days later, their harassment continued as usual, but today they seemed to have planned something different. When I arrived at work, I found my desk piled high with documents and files. Nearby, Mike and Terry were grinning at me. Oh, what's this?
You like work, don't you? So, we gathered all the current tasks for you. We just wanted to see your happy face. You should be grateful.
Oh, and there are some of our tasks in there too, so please take care of those for us.
I was exasperated by their childish behavior. This is way too much. I can't handle all this.
Don't be modest. Are you planning to waste my consideration? Just do it.
It's physically too much. With all this spread out on my desk, I can't even use my computer. I'm returning these. When I refused, Mike's face broke into a wicked smile.
I see. So you really are useless because you're just a high school grad. In that case, beg us if it's too much. Say, please help me with my work.
And if you shed some tears and lick our shoes, we might just help you out. We're not complete monsters.
What did you say? I felt disgusted by their ridiculous demands. They were the ones who dumped all this work on me. So why should I have to beg them? Thinking that, I decided to accept their challenge. Fine. I'll do it all. I'll show you.
Are you serious? Doing all this by yourself?
Mike and Terry looked bewildered, perhaps because my reaction wasn't what they expected. Yes, I'm serious. But given the sheer volume, I'll have to work overtime. I can't finish all this within regular hours.
Oh, fine. But we won't pay you for overtime.
That's fine. With that, I immediately started on the first task. Mike and Terry were smirking, clearly thinking there was no way I could manage it. But I focused on my work. I prioritized tasks by their deadlines, took minimal breaks, and worked late into the night, efficiently using my years of experience and skills to get everything done. Within 2 weeks, I had completed all the assigned work. Mike, here's the last of it. Please check it.
What? Already? Well, fine.
Mike reviewed the documents I had prepared, glaring at me with frustration. I returned to my desk, feeling satisfied, took a short break, and then moved on to the next task. The next day, instead of work, Mike and Terry began dumping menial chores on me.
Hey, John, get us some coffee now. And go buy some donuts.
Hey, John, make some copies of these documents. And while you're getting donuts, grab me a sandwich too. Thanks.
I'm in the middle of my work. Please take care of your own errands. When I refused, they started yelling at me.
What? You can't follow orders from your boss? You're useless. If you can't follow orders, I'll fire you.
John, you won't even get us snacks? You're so heartless. I'm disappointed in you. Go get them now. I'm busy too.
This is ridiculous. Fine, I'll do it. Not wanting to cause a scene and disturb the other employees, I reluctantly took on their errands. Apparently pleased with their success, they began frequently dumping non-work related tasks on me. Each time I refused, they would get furious, so I had no choice but to comply. As a result, I couldn't concentrate on my work, and my sales performance naturally started to decline. This month, the top sales performance went to Mike.
Serves you right. I'm the top dog now. Looks like someone dropped to second place, huh? This is what we call a difference in ability.
You're amazing, Mike. So different from a certain high school grad. I'll follow you forever.
Mike and Terry laughed mockingly at me. I never really cared much about my sales rankings, but knowing their deliberate actions had affected my performance, I felt a bit frustrated this time. About a month later, we attended a social gathering hosted by Johnson Construction. This event was to celebrate the completion of a large project and was attended by 200 employees from our company and various other construction companies. The president was also attending, but was expected to arrive late due to some work commitments. We started mingling and greeting employees from different departments over drinks. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, John, this project was tough, but it was definitely rewarding.
Yes, with your cooperation, we managed to complete it successfully. We look forward to working with you again on future projects. As we were chatting, one of my subordinates hurriedly called out to me, pointing towards Mike and Terry. They had climbed onto the stage and were preparing a microphone. The opening speech had already been made, and the scheduled games were still some time away. Since neither my subordinate nor I had heard anything about this, we were puzzled. We watched for a while, and then Mike switched on the microphone and started speaking.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for gathering here today. Although the opening speech was made earlier, we haven't introduced all the participants yet. We would like to take a few moments to do that now.
What? My subordinate and I were surprised by this sudden announcement. Introducing the participants wasn't necessarily a bad thing. However, in a typical social gathering, introducing participants is not always included in the schedule, and it was omitted in this event as well. This was probably Mike's arbitrary decision. Without hesitation, the participant introductions began. But it wasn't a situation where we could forcibly stop them, so we decided to quietly observe. However, after introducing people from other companies, when Mike started reading out the names of Johnson Construction participants, he had a faint, creepy smile.
Now, lastly, I'd like to introduce our sales manager, John Brown. John, please come up to the stage.
What? Me? I was surprised to be called up so suddenly. Until now, it had just been names and titles. So why was I being called up to the stage at the end? Feeling uneasy, I reluctantly stepped onto the stage. Following me, Terry, grinning, also came up on stage. And then Mike said something unbelievable.
This is John, this useless high school grad. He's completely worthless at the company.
Even from my perspective as his subordinate, he's completely incompetent. It's embarrassing.
Oh no. Feeling nervous and sweating profusely, I was humiliated in front of 200 people. What are you talking about? Please stop. I whispered, urging them to stop. But they didn't.
This guy suddenly transferred to the headquarters one day, but because he worked on site since graduating high school, he doesn't understand social rules at all. No matter what task he's given, he always refuses it. He's truly useless.
Even when given menial tasks, he just complains. As a boss, he's the worst. He only became a manager because of a staffing shortage, but he acts all high and mighty.
They continued to hurl insults at me, saying whatever they wanted. It seemed like Mike and Terry were trying to ruin my reputation by telling lies in front of everyone. Taking advantage of the president's absence, they were doing whatever they pleased. I was shaking with anger, but didn't want to lose my composure, so I held back my desire to argue. The people in the audience were just bewildered.
What's wrong? You seem eager to lead. Understandable, since you're making a fool of yourself in front of all these people.
If you don't like it, you can leave, and feel free to quit the company too.
Mike and Terry moved the microphones away from their mouths and whispered to me. At that moment, I finally snapped and made a decision. Since I'm apparently a bother, I'll leave. With that, I immediately stepped down from the stage and headed for the exit.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. It seems John has to leave due to work. Please continue to enjoy your meal without any concern.
Mike, looking pleased, turned off the microphone and left the stage with Terry. Ignoring them, I gathered my belongings and went straight home without returning to the office. Later, they would regret making me angry. A few hours after I got home, I managed to calm down from the anger at the social gathering and was relaxing in the living room, drinking and watching TV. Then my phone rang. It was Mike. I ignored the call and continued to ignore it for the rest of the day. The next day, I couldn't skip work without notice, so I went to the office as usual. The sales department was in an uproar when I arrived. It was likely due to what happened at the social gathering yesterday, but I remained calm and spoke up. Good morning, everyone. What's going on? Is there something on my face?
Oh, John, the secretary came by earlier and asked me to tell you to go to the president's office immediately.
It's probably about yesterday, but I don't think you're in trouble. It was totally Mike and Terry's fault.
Comforted by subordinates who had attended the event, I headed to the president's office. When I entered after responding, the president was sitting in a chair with Mike and Terry standing there looking pale. "Sorry to keep you waiting. What's this about? And what's wrong with those two? They look awful."
You sly devil.
What, John? You were so secretive. Why didn't you tell us?
Mike and Terry seemed to know something. Then the president spoke to me with a serious expression.
John, I deeply apologize for what Mike and Terry did to you. It must have hurt you terribly.
The president, who had been sitting, stood up and apologized to me. I hurriedly tried to stop him. "Sir, you did nothing wrong."
It's also my fault. If I hadn't been late because of work, this wouldn't have happened.
Did someone tell you about what happened yesterday?
I heard it directly from them.
The president began to explain, glaring at Mike and Terry. Apparently, he had arrived at the social gathering a few minutes after the commotion. Expecting a lively event, he entered the venue, but was shocked to find it silent just as I was leaving. Alarmed by the unusual scene, he immediately questioned Mike.
Hey, what's going on here? Did something happen?
Oh, don't worry about it. We were just introducing the employees when John suddenly decided to go home.
John? Why?
In response to the president's question, Terry eagerly explained.
It's no big deal. We just mentioned that John is a useless high school grad. I guess the whole room got pretty awkward.
What? How could you do such a thing?
The president's angry voice echoed through the silent venue.
What's wrong? Please calm down.
How can I be calm? He is the candidate for the next president. I was planning to introduce that at this gathering.
What? John is the next president candidate.
Mike was shocked, and Terry was dumbfounded. In fact, the president had been proposing this to me for some time, but I had only ever held the position of sales manager and felt I was too inexperienced. So, I initially declined, thinking I wasn't up to the task. However, the president continued to approach me enthusiastically, moved by his passion and seeing it as an opportunity to further develop my skills. I accepted the offer about 2 months ago. This fact was kept secret from Mike, Terry, and the rest of the company's employees, with the intention of announcing it as a surprise at the social gathering. Hearing this explanation from the president, Mike and Terry looked even paler.
It's cruel to keep it a secret. If we had known, we wouldn't have harassed you like that.
Really? We had no idea that the high school grad boss we found annoying was the next president.
The president asked me to keep it under wraps until the social gathering. But even if I could have said something, I wouldn't have. I didn't want to brag about it. As I coldly stated this, Mike and Terry's faces twisted in frustration.
Damn, is it true? A high school grad as the next president. That's unheard of.
As I've said before, education doesn't matter. What's important is whether the person entrusted with the role has the qualities fit for a president.
But it's still strange. If John can become president, then a college grad like me should be a candidate too. It's unfair.
Their lack of remorse made me feel angry once more. I've made up my mind. I don't want to be the president of a company that has employees with such attitudes. I'm declining the offer.
What?
And while I'm at it, I'll be resigning from the company. I can't deal with bosses and subordinates like these. My sudden statement threw President into a panic.
Wait, you can't just say that now.
I've been thinking all along about how they would behave if I became president. How could I reform them if they didn't improve? Moreover, I don't know if I can treat Mike and Terry equally with other employees after what they've done. I've lost confidence in everything.
But there's no one else to take your place. The vice president just took the position recently, and the executive director is still inexperienced. Compared to them, John, you're trusted by all the employees and clients and are highly capable. You're the right person for the job.
Realizing that I was not only declining the offer, but also considering resigning, the president desperately tried to persuade me by apologizing again. So I laid out a condition. Then let's do this. I'll stay, but only if you take appropriate action against them.
Of course, I intend to properly deal with their actions at the social gathering.
No, the problems they cause go beyond just that. Mike and Terry have been harassing me and other subordinates for some time. After saying this, I went on to reveal all their past misdeeds. Specifically, how Mike had been insulting me for being a high school graduate, and how, after Terry joined, they teamed up to badmouth employees they didn't like, including me. I also mentioned the rumors about their harassment driving people to quit or take leaves of absence. As the president listened, his face contorted with anger. Mike and Terry, realizing what was coming, trembled in fear.
What? I had no idea such things were happening behind my back.
If their harassment had stopped after I was introduced as the next president at the social gathering, I would have let it slide. And once I became president, I would have investigated the rumors and, if found true, had Mike and Terry apologize to the victims. I could have reported the rumors to you earlier, but since I hadn't witnessed them myself, I hesitated. In hindsight, I should have spoken up, even if they were just rumors.
Damn it. So you were defying me because you knew you were going to be the next president. You were watching us the whole time. What a joke.
Mike still showed hostility. However, Terry seemed to have given up.
Why is this happening to me? Am I going to get fired? Mr. Johnson, I didn't do anything wrong. Mike ordered me to do everything. It wasn't my idea.
Desperate to avoid responsibility, Terry threw Mike under the bus, claiming his innocence.
What? What are you saying?
It's true that Mike ordered me. I didn't want to harass anyone.
Don't lie. You started making nasty comments on your own. It's your fault this happened. You're to blame.
Watching them argue, I couldn't stand it any longer and intervened. Hey, stop fighting here. We're in front of the president.
Oh, sorry, but please believe me, it's all Mike's fault.
No way. It's Terry's fault. You're not getting away with this. I'll pin everything on you.
Their argument was going nowhere, and even I couldn't stop them. Finally, the president, who had been observing, intervened with a thunderous voice.
You two, what on earth are you doing? Both of you are obviously in the wrong, hurting others with such childish methods. You should be ashamed.
We're so sorry.
We apologize.
In an instant, Mike and Terry stopped fighting and apologized. However, the president's anger had reached its peak.
It's too late to apologize. John, I'm thinking of terminating their employment. What do you think?
What? Wait a minute. Isn't that too harsh?
Yeah, all we did was harass people. The rumors are all lies too.
Desperately, they protested, but I quickly countered.
Isn't it appropriate? Both of you have had poor work attitudes, and Terry, your performance has always been at the bottom. Despite repeated warnings, there was no improvement. Terry, you used to work hard. What happened?
Well, wait a minute. My performance isn't bad. I even beat you to the top sales position recently. If anyone should be fired, it's Terry, not me. I should stay with the company.
Terry had given up and stopped arguing. But Mike continued to insist. However, I quickly refuted him. No, Mike, you need to leave the company as well. It seems you've been leaking information to other companies and receiving money in return, haven't you? And you've been buying information from them as well. Of course, you did this along with Terry.
What?
How do you know that?
They were shocked, clearly not expecting to be found out. Even the president was taken aback.
Information leak? What's going on?
Just recently, some subordinates informed me about it. It was just a rumor, so I had no concrete evidence. But since this could seriously impact the company, I plan to report it to you immediately. However, you were away on a long business trip recently, and I couldn't get in touch with you. So, as the next president candidate, I took it upon myself to investigate. In truth, based on the rumor that Mike and Terry were secretly exchanging information with another company, I had started an internal inquiry about a month ago. I received a strong testimony from an employee in another department, stating they had seen Mike and Terry passing documents and money to someone who appeared to be an employee of another company outside the office. I found out that this person was a sales representative from a partner construction company who also attended the social gathering. Before the event, I spoke directly to this representative. Surprisingly, he admitted the truth right away. From what I heard from him, it seems he was coerced by Mike and Terry and had no choice but to participate in the information exchange. He had carefully stored the documents and money he received and meticulously recorded the dates and times of the exchanges. Furthermore, in case of emergencies, he secretly recorded the information exchanges with a voice recorder and saved the audio data. When he could no longer bear the guilt, he tried to expose them with that evidence. When I explained this, Mike and Terry's faces turned pale. The evidence is currently safely stored at my house. I was planning to report it to the president at a different opportunity soon. I didn't expect today to be the day.
You can't be serious. Is this some sort of bluff? We don't know anything about it.
Oh, even with a detailed explanation, you claim to have no recollection? Well then, I'll go get the evidence from my house now, so please wait. I didn't bring it with me today since I didn't expect today to be the day for exposing them. Mike, panicked, hastily refused, saying, "No, please don't trouble yourself."
Damn it. That bastard. Spilling everything so easily.
So you admit it. You've done something outrageous. Why did you engage in information trading?
I did it to improve my performance. I wanted to beat John.
Resigned, Mike confessed his guilt. Did you start leaking information recently? That's why your performance was unusually good then?
Yeah. I received a client list and used it to go out on sales calls. With various information, I could understand the client's requirements and make accurate pitches, ensuring a steady stream of projects.
So you used such underhanded tactics to steal the top spot from me and were pleased about it. With that kind of dedication, you could have earned the top spot without resorting to trading. Were you that lacking in confidence? When I made this sarcastic remark, Mike couldn't argue back and lowered his head. Terry, too, was at a loss and just looked distressed.
I'll have John show me the evidence later to confirm if it's true. If it turns out to be true, we'll be seeking damages from you.
What? That's too harsh. I just joined the company. I don't have much money saved up, and now you want me to take on debt.
I have a wife. I can't say I was fired and ended up in debt because of this. Please spare me.
Mike and Terry hurriedly apologized to the president and me, but we didn't forgive them.
I'm sorry, but you'll have to accept it. We can no longer take care of you, nor can we forgive you.
I have no intention of forgiving you either. Just work hard to pay off your debt and live out the rest of your life.
How heartless.
Overwhelmed by despair, Mike and Terry collapsed on the spot. Seeing them like this, I felt a sense of satisfaction and was finally able to calm my anger. Afterward, the president ordered Mike and Terry to stay home for now. The next day, an internal investigation was conducted on the rumors that they had driven some former employees to resign. The investigation confirmed that the rumors were indeed true. Immediately, the president called Mike and Terry and instructed them to go apologize to the victims. He also accompanied them and deeply apologized to the victims. The president said, "I bear responsibility for not noticing," and paid compensation from his personal assets to those who wished for it. Afterward, the president officially dismissed Mike and Terry and demanded $10,000 each in damages for the information leak. Terry had his parents take over his debt, but he was scolded and disowned by his family. Currently, he has found a new job at a construction site, doing physical labor and gradually repaying his debt to his parents. On the other hand, when Mike explained the situation to his wife, she naturally lost all affection for him. She left their home, which still had a mortgage, and later sent him a signed divorce paper. Mike, resigned to his fate, reluctantly agreed, and the divorce was finalized. Since they had no children, there were no child support issues, but with the division of property also waived, only the mortgage and debt remained. Mike tried to find a new job, but due to his age, he couldn't get hired and had to take multiple part-time jobs. He worked day and night, feeling lonely but diligently paying off his mortgage and debt. Meanwhile, I stayed with the company and was officially introduced as the next president. 2 months later, after the inauguration ceremony, I took on my new duties as the president to ensure that no employees like Mike and Terry ever appear again. I am earnestly addressing and working to improve the company's internal issues. The male employee who participated in the information exchange was also disciplined after the incident, but is now working diligently at a different workplace. I hope Mike and Terry, like him, will turn over a new leaf, but that's up to them. I will continue to do my best to support the company and its employees.